Hello and welcome to Actors Theater's 27th season. My name is Maureen Kirkwood and I'm the new president of Actors Theater's Board of Directors. With an exciting season ahead, we are once again going to endeavor to bring you the best in entertaining, challenging, innovative, and thought-provoking theater. We're proud of the name that others have given us, the Off-Broadway of Grand Rapids, and proud of the work that we've done over the past 26 years. Here are some images from previous seasons.
I need you to lift your arms.
Like this? It's pinching me right here. I've never been to a colored show. I'm told they're quite good.
I suppose.
I should like to see one for myself. You must take me to one of your shows.
And will you take me to the opera next time you go?
I would if I could. It would be marvelously scandalous. Just the sort of thing to perk up this humdrum season.
Why you want to throw it all away on a common laborer?
Love.
Don't let no man have no part of your heart unless you get a piece of his.
Knocks me up and strips me bare. Sugar, 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 I won't care. Late at night when I'm sad and lonely, one thing only cures my blues. Stressed out,
Burned out,
hanging by a string. Sugar, 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 I won't feel a thing. Something's breaking my baby's heart. Something's breaking my baby's heart. Something's breaking my baby's heart. Oh, I just want to see her smile.
Culture, Steindorf! That is finally, in the end, all that separates us.
From the animals, yes.
No, from the English. What? From the Italians, from the rest of Europe.
German culture is all that distinguishes us from non-Germans.
Yes.
Did Telemann use those words?
Yes, he has, by the way, a gorgeous speaking voice.
I am.
And I look forward to sharing it with you as you promised.
No, and all you did was lose my money! See, this is what I was talking about.
No, this is what I'm talking about right now. The bullshit you do to me and expect me to come crawling back in here and taking it.
I don't want you
Oh, so now you don't want me here. Is that it? Well, go on and say it. Go on, say it.
You're awesome.
You too, Tom. You're a good man. Good and strong and brave and lots of nice things.
I love it when you talk dirty.
We're so happy we share everything.
We're so happy. We're so happy. We're so happy.
We share everything. I like what a duo can do. The combination is greater than the sum of its parts. Should we cement this arrangement? Now that it's tested and tried. We're such a tight weave, we don't want to leave. We make a match set, a perfect duet. Like eggs on a ham, like twins as I am. I'm by your side.
Yay, Becca Geeks! All examine these aberrations, their malformations, grotesque physiques. Only pennies for weeks. Come look at the phrase!
Here are the directors for our upcoming season at the popular downtown Bobby J's restaurant as they discuss each of their productions.
The directors for our 27th season include Stephanie Sandberg, Fred Sobalski, Geraldine Pinsky, and Tom Cackley. Stephanie Sandberg's work for actors over the years has included directing such shows as Arcadia, Blues for an Alabama Sky, Lonely Planet, A Lesson Before Dying, The Ladies of the Camellias, Elizabeth Rex, and most recently, Bach at Leipzig. This season, she will be writing and directing the world premiere of 7 Passages, The Stories of Gay Christians.
I'm directing 7 Passages, The Stories of Gay Christians, which is a piece of devised theater that comes from interviews with over 100 gay Christians in Western Michigan. And what we did is we took these interviews and we put them together into a play that weaves together the stories and different experiences of people who have had to struggle with trying to live authentic gay lives, authentic their sexuality, and also trying to live out their faith and what that means. So we've been working on it all summer, and now we're doing it.
Stephanie, what ages are involved? What?
You mean the people who I interviewed? We tried to interview as many different ages as possible. So the oldest person we interviewed is 80, and I think the youngest just was 18, you know, between 18 and 80. We wanted to make sure that we were getting a wide range of people. So, and their experiences are so different because you have some people who are really, you know, they've taken the conservative standpoint and they've said, well, I'm going to live this way, I'm going to be celibate. And then you've got other people who are really activist and who are out there saying, no, I'm going to change this, I want to change the way things are happening. So
I think this is such an amazing story to tell at this time because, I mean, you can't pick up the paper any week without reading a story of a church dealing with, I mean, I don't think there's any more important thing that churches are dealing with right now. You know, other entities have dealt with it along the way, and now suddenly churches are confronted with a whole bunch of people in their congregations that are saying, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, and despite what you have taught about it or have preached about it, I want to stay connected to this church and be who I am. And that's creating such tension in the churches, and to finally, you know, find a theatrical way of exploring that and letting people have their voice, and that it's homegrown. That's the other thing that I'm thrilled about. That Actors Theater gets to do a piece that is rooted in the community that we work in. All the stories come from West Michigan. We tried not to go outside of the area. At least they had to have lived here, like recently, because there was one guy I interviewed in California, but he had just moved. And the other thing is that the 7 actors who were in the piece, they developed it. I mean, they transcribed all the interviews, they put it into a play form, they edited it, they really worked on it. So they own it and they play all the characters.
So how did you find it? I mean, how did people come forward? How did you recruit people to participate?
I kind of just put out a lot of talked to a lot of people first, and then invited everybody to participate in a workshop, and from there we found the people that really could handle kind of the difficult social justice aspects of the piece.
But you were talking about the actors.
Yeah.
She was wondering, I think, about where you found the subjects. Where you found the stories.
Well, first it was just through like, I know this person, and that like kind of domino effects. Like I know this person and this person and this person, and then through GIFT, which is Gays in Faith Together in Grand Rapids, they put me in touch with just a huge network of people, and then there are many times when I had to be like, I can't interview anymore. I have to stop. I can't interview any more people.
You got to start creating the people.
Is there a particular significance to the title?
Yeah, the title is, it comes from what are known as the 7 clobber passages in the Bible that have been traditionally used by the church to oppress homosexual people. They've been interpreted that way. And there's lots of different interpretations of them. So we used them as a metaphor for exploring the different kinds of experiences that people have. And even though we do use the scriptures in the play, they are only a framework. They're not like, we're not getting into like real heavy, theological exegesis. We're letting the stories speak to the scriptures. So.
And yet there's also something, several people have said to me, passages, that word and what it connotes, that there's a journey that people move on, and that's really in the stories that I'm familiar with that you're using.
So it became more of a metaphor for people's experience, not only with their faith, but with themselves and how they've navigated through their lives. What doors they've walked through.
Now, is this a copyright? Are you copywriting this?
Yes, eventually.
once it's done. We've talked, we spent some time talking about how we share the the rights to this because Actors Theater and Stephanie and the actors and
we own it. Yeah, so we
own
have
it.
to just if we do something with it, we need to copyright it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know of another. It reminds me of the Exonerated, which we did a few years ago.
Exactly.
Or the Larry Project, which
Sure,
you were
sure.
involved in
Yeah.
at Circle, was it?
No, I didn't do that one.
That was
Oh,
somebody
that
else
was
did that.
somebody else. Yeah.
But it is very similar to that.
But the actors,
Yeah,
were
create the
part and
piece.
parcel, and then I think it was 2 actors who took, depositions
Exonerated.
or
Right.
so that there is a market for it because that one was done all over the place,
Right.
and I haven't heard of another one on gay issues.
I don't know of another piece
I
like this.
don't know
I
of
think
one
that
either,
This
but,
piece
So it's
exists.
special for us.
Unique, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there humor in it too? Or
Yes,
is it, okay.
I mean, one of the things we kept saying was every single time we chose an interview, we're like, well, we have to make sure we have something to counter that one because that one's really heavy. So we would choose something that was lighter. So there's some wonderful humor.
So it
in
just
it.
kind of shifts tones from
Yeah.
moment to moment throughout
Yeah.
the piece.
Yeah.
And that has to do with people's passages too. Some people take this very resilient, humorous attitude toward it, and some people go through this really hard, difficult journeys. And so it just depends on how they've managed to handle their lives. Yeah.
Actors founder and artistic consultant Fred Sobalski will follow up his recent productions of Sideshow, Assassins, Jesus Hopped the A-Train, Urinetown the Musical, Corpus Christi, Bat Boy the Musical, The Rocky Horror Show, and A Man of No Importance, with 2 new productions this season. Dog Sees God, Confessions of a Teenage Blockhead by Bert V. Royal, and the Tony Award-winning Kander and Ebb musical, Kiss of the Spider-Woman.
Well, we follow 7 passages with something completely different. Dog Sees God also has a colon, Confessions of a Teenage Blockhead. And it takes the Peanuts gang of Charles Schulz fame and in an unauthorized parody, and I underline that because no one in the Peanuts family is going to have approved of this. It brings them up into high school. And so the thing that really attracted me to it is that it tells, I think, the truth about what high school is really like, or at least what my experience of high school was, with the cliques and the bullying and the drugs and the sexual exploration. And we watch our characters from Peanuts that we've come to know and love. We watch them go through the machinations of what it's like to be a teenager in today's world. So
it's such a fun show. I mean, if you're a parent, you look at this piece, and I mean, I got a daughter who's going into her freshman year at high school, and I'm just thinking, she's got 4 years of what's going on in this play, to deal with, and how people come out the other side of it without,
Yeah.
And just some wonderful moments, but most particularly that there's a moment in that play that just, when I was reading it, I was shaking. A moment where you think, oh my gosh, there's either going to be a suicide or a Columbine moment, but it's also got some wonderful fun humor and what a beautiful.
I think the characters are really very respected. Truthfully, I mean, in the press, it doesn't destroy what you knew about Peanuts, because they were going through those sorts of struggles even in Charles Schulz. I mean, Charlie Brown is going through existential angst right from the beginning of his life, but it becomes highlighted in high school.
Now, are you opening this being broadcast as a family show?
No, and I would underline that it's not a family show, but I think that for older high school kids and college kids certainly, but no, little kids can be allowed to believe that it's going to be. I just think that you discover in high school too quickly that it's a really hard slog, and you shouldn't disillusion people too soon. They should go into high school thinking it's going to be wonderful, and then having to deal with it as it comes along. But it's true, Tom, when you go out the other side, you think, oh my God, I survived it. How did I survive it? And this play sort of focuses on all those things that you go, Yeah, that's the way high school was.
Geraldine Pinsky's work at Actors has included Kimberly Akimbo, The Normal Heart, How I Learned to Drive, Flyin' West, Boy Gets Girl, and The Exonerated. This year she will direct Going to St Ives by Lee Blessing.
It's about Africa. It's about ostensibly a woman doctor, an English woman doctor, who is an eye surgeon and renowned, who is asked to operate on the mother of an African dictator who is, I think, based on Idi Amin of the last King of Scotland. He's a butcher and responsible for what we term genocide, but for the murder of thousands upon thousands of people. And then each woman in the play wants something from the other. And there are other echoes in our season of things that are going on the stage in front of you, where two people respond to one another from totally different backgrounds. Each woman requires a deed from the other woman, which in the final analysis causes her to examine her own moral stance.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give anything away, because I think with all theater, which is live, you need to come and you need to experience it. And that is the thing I found so entrancing about Going to St Ives. When you read it, you just become drawn into the world of these women, and you don't think about the world stage.
I was going to say, I remember reading that piece, and when the inciting moment happens, I just remember going, ooh. Yeah, it's an absolutely wonderful, and I think it's great that you have, time to develop these two. I mean, it's a two-character play, and so you have all this time to develop all the different nuances of these wonderful, wonderful characters.
It's a wonderful tapestry for two actors.
Yeah.
One is African or of color, who is playing an African, and the other is an English or American. I mean, actually, her husband's American, which allows us some latitude with the vocal.
But it does deal once again with that, like you said, with that issue of moral responsibility and individual responsibility. The world is around us, and we each have responsibility to make decisions that make the world a better place. And both of these women wrestle with what they can do.
They do wrestle with it, and they wrestle with it in a way that is totally theatrical and entertaining. And again, audiences should not be put off by the subject matter. So many things are swirling around, but I think it's going to be very provocative and entertaining at the same time, and I'm so looking forward to doing it. It's a treat. What can I say?
Our next director this season is Tom Cackley, head of the GRCC Theater Program. Tom directed last season's production of Fat Pig, and previously Lobby Hero, Coastal Disturbances, Someone Who'll Watch Over Me, and many more. This season, Tom will be directing the Pulitzer Prize-winning drama Rabbit Hole by David Lindsay Abaire.
I am lucky enough to be directing the David Lindsay Abaire piece Rabbit Hole, which deals with a family coming to terms with a personal trauma that has happened to them. And the significance of the title Rabbit Hole is that sort of that moment in your life that makes you see the world completely differently, as if you've fallen down that rabbit hole, and the world is just something else that you've never experienced before. And I think a lot of people have had that that connection to a personal tragedy. Or I was thinking back to being diagnosed with cancer about 6 years ago, and just that word, suddenly you do not see the world the same way. It's honest. It's got a wonderful sense of humor from time to time to just keep the audience wanting to continue watching this
I think that's important.
Lovely story.
Important for people to know, because if they know anything about it, and we're trying to keep the main idea sort of secret, so that they come not knowing if they don't know. But they think, oh, I don't want to see something that deals with tragedy, and yet, because it's David Lindsay Abaire, he deals with it, and he deals with humor around it, and within this family at the same time, so that you recognize. I think you recognize, because I think there's nothing, when tragedies or when things happen like you were describing, humor follows. It's a way of dealing. It's a way of coping.
Right. And everybody's on a different. I mean, it's the entire family dealing with this. Becca's mother and her sister and her husband, and and it's just an interesting journey that this woman. I mean, Becca is the central figure of the play, but the journey is taken by everybody, the family.
You know, when I was researching Kimberly, one of the articles I remember reading quoted David as saying, "Every family is dysfunctional." Yeah. That is the definition. I mean, you can say, what do you mean dysfunctional? Well, it's a family. And I think that everything that I've read that he's done, or other plays, if you think about that quote, and I think in this particular issue, the fact that he deals with it with wacky humor so that you can take a serious situation. And the one play I've been involved in of his, which ends tragically, I never laughed so much in my life on the way to the funeral. Yeah.
But it's a wonderful challenge for the actors to try to walk that line. How far can I go over to the humor side? Where's I can't get sentimental. It's and Actors is known for doing those shows that challenge those actors, and here's 5 roles that are just
really
wonderful. Yeah.
We're going to conclude our season with a musical that I've really loved the music ever since I first heard it. Kiss of the Spider Woman, Candor and Ebb, which I started my directing career with Cabaret all those years ago at Circle, with Candor and Ebb, so it's fun to come back to them because I think they're as good as it gets in terms of theater music in this century, and they've had such great hits, including Curtains, which is on Broadway right now. But Kiss of the Spider Woman, I love the story. The movie was, which was not a musical, but the story was made into the movie, which won an Academy Award for William Hurt. And this is that same story of these two prisoners who are thrown into prison in South America, one for his political beliefs and one because of his homosexuality. And the two of them are forced to share a cell. And the gay character has this fascination with this movie siren, who he has dubbed the Spider Woman, because she appears to him in his dreams, and she sort of makes it possible for him to withstand the conditions of the prison, which are just horrendous. And these two men are the unlikeliest two that you would ever bring together, and because of that, it becomes this very interesting story of how they become friends, how they become supporters and mainstays of one another, how they really allow one another to survive these conditions. Both of them actually reach out in an extreme way towards the other, to protect the other, to save the other, to take care of the other. And by doing that, they break down all the barriers between them, because these two would never speak to one another in any other context, but forced to share a prison cell.
Well, it was 11 or 12 years ago when we did Someone Who'll Watch Over Me, and another one that was set in the prison cell. And it's just fascinating when you get people confined, what just comes out of the conversation. You got to go through everything in your life.
Yeah,
it does. It makes for a fascinating. And in that case, there was 3 that were
the
odd couple. But,
and again, fascinating to watch those characters.
The bonding that happens, the fighting that happens.
And the human degradation in the context of human degradation. Watching something beautiful
Yeah.
flourish. So hopefully it'll be a great end to a great season. And I think that
Cheers.
we ought to toast that.
All right.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Shelley Urbane, the theater manager here at Spectrum Theater. We hope you enjoy the show with us this evening and return often to Actors Theater. Please know that our box office staff is here to serve you and answer any questions you may have about season tickets, student price tickets, special discount tickets, or anything else that will help you enjoy your time with us here this evening. We're proud to have Actors Theater as part of our Spectrum Theater family, and we invite you to come back and visit the other theater groups that call Spectrum Theater home: the Grand Rapids Community College, Jewish Theater Grand Rapids, and the Heritage Theater Group. Nowhere else in West Michigan can you see more great theater in a year than right here at Spectrum Theater.